what could be better than one Paul on a podcast? And that is two Pauls on the same podcast. This is my amazing friend. I'm going to let him introduce himself to our audience. Amazing supporter, sponsor. He does have a green bubble phone. We'll try to forgive him for that. But share with us who you are and what you do to help dentists survive, thrive, and not cry.
Hey, Paul, thanks for having me on again, man. I'm Paul Etchison. I am a dentist. I am a dental coach. I have a podcast, and my whole goal is to teach dentists how to run their practices more like a business so that they can step back from the clinical chair. And I'm not saying get completely out clinically. If you want to, you can do that, but just to give you more life freedom and flexibility so that we can focus on the things that really matter to us while we're here rather than look back, being hoping constantly that we're going to be able to retire one day, because my goal is to get your business into running in a manner that you never want to retire from it and that you love being there.
I love this, and I love the F's. We talk about this a lot: flexibility, freedom. Because one of the things I think that's awesome about dentistry, Paul, and you feel free to challenge me or agree, is that in a few short years, you could be the owner of a dental practice, helping people, running a team, making good money. Year 3, but year 33, schedule-wise, often doesn't look different than year 3. Money-wise, it could look different. Procedure-wise, it could look different, but you still got to show up to make those dentisting donuts. Talk to us just for a minute about your journey as a solo startup owner, the success that you found, but stop at when you realized you didn't want to do it by yourself anymore.
Yeah, I would say the first 4 years of practice ownership, we just went in with the intention that we were just going to create something special patient experience wise and really just hone in on that patient experience, blow our patients away, because as we know in dentistry, we don't set the bar very high. Many people have bad dental experiences. So we went in with that intention and it grew and it did really well. But it got to the point where I could no longer see all the patients that I wanted. And we plateaued. We hit a level where it was like there's no way we can fit more people in our schedule. So our only options were to open up more hours in our schedule or to bring on an associate. And I really didn't want to work anymore. I felt like I was working a lot at that point. So the decision was made that we were going to expand into an associate. And that first expansion was probably the hardest, just bringing on
Yeah.
an associate and growing the team. But after that, adding the second one, the third one was much easier. And as you become more associate driven and less, reliant on your own hands, you get to do things like only do the procedures that you like, or only work the days that you want, or work very limited hours where all your friends are going to be like, what are you doing? Like, you're in your 30s, like you should be working more. But it's just one of those things that I had to deal with it when I was going through it, is that everyone was like questioning, why are you doing this? And I was just saying, hey, like my life's amazing. I love my amount of work. I love the work-life balance. And let's face it, dentistry's hard. Running a
Oh, well,
practice is
that's
hard.
dentist
Yeah.
hours are dog year hours. I have two dental
Mhm.
practices. I have Dentist Job Connect and Dental Nachos. I'm at Dental Nachos and Job Connect today. And the intensity of an hour of non-dental work is so much less than the chair side in someone's face. So even though you're in your 30s, I feel like you would put in the hours of someone older than that. And the other part I want to share with this is, and I don't think people get this part. You grow your startup practice, you got a great patient experience, more people want to see you. Why don't you just put them off, Paul? Why don't you just say, I can't see you? I mean, my thought is dentists are helpers, and it's hard when people need help to say, I can't help you. You only have so many hours with teams. Kind of tell us, why didn't you say, I'll stop at 2 million and this is just my life? What's the stress of having more patients than you can practically see?
Yeah, it's you're always letting people down. And that's what we would
Yeah.
have. We would have people call us for emergencies and we couldn't see them today because they're like, well, normally we would stay late, but we're already staying late seeing other people and we're already coming in early tomorrow. So even if I had taken the route of dropping insurance, I still think we would have had a problem. Now, if we look at our practices with some noble cause and saying, hey, we're really here to help people get healthy with their teeth and help them have their best dental lives, because if we really zoom out, I mean, having dental health is very important for like psychosocial health, like being emotionally healthy. So if we want to help more people, the idea is to continue to give our product to more people. And the only way to do that is expand capacity. And as the dental owner, I myself noticed that I became so much more valuable to my team, training other associates, training hygienists, working with my team, and we're able to help more people versus me, what I can do with my hands. So I am limited by the amount of people I can see. but I have an unlimited amount of capacity. Well, it is limited to some extent, my capacity, but we can really grow our capacity a lot and see a lot more people. And I say this to my team often. I say, hey, they will say, gosh, the practice is so different now than it was like 5, 10 years ago. But I say, are we doing good dentistry? Are we helping people? Yes. Yes, we are doing like, 3, 4 times as much dentistry as we did when it was just me. But we are doing good dentistry. So we are helping all that more many people.
I loved it. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just at a Mastermind Dental Success Institute, one of my favorite places, and one of the people in my group said this to their team, and I believe it said, "Remember, the more people, more production we do, the more people we help." Because I'm just assuming dentists are doing responsible dentistry. When I say this on Facebook, someone yells out, "Well, what if they're just doing 50 spots of a restaurant?" Okay, I'm assuming it's not that. So once you make the assumption that we're doing helpful dentistry, patient-centered dentistry, the uncomfortable thing that dentists have to feel, Paul, I don't think other people, is that the more production you do, the more people you help, and you should be proud of that. The more production you do, the more people you help. Now, you coach dentists into doing this, and you have a coaching program, and
Mhm.
you've made it affordable for a practice owner to connect with you to learn about systems, team leads. Kind of tell my audience about it. If someone's listening to this and saying, I feel like this. I do 1.6 million a year. I'm about to hire my first associate, but we got a new dental assistant, front desk person been there for years. Where do you come in with your coaching program to help them stay sane and be successful?
Yeah, I mean, the major tenet of my coaching program is to put the systems in the practice. So we've created, 36 hours of videos and worksheets and checklists so that they can go step by step. We take people through a 7 phase program of systemization. But part of our program that's so big, and I think this is what I learned later in my career, is that when you have a leadership team and you systematize that leadership team and what your expectations are, and now you have managers within your practice, it becomes a lot more just it's more fun to be at work because I'm no longer dealing with putting out fires. I'm no longer dealing with hiring, firing, any HR stuff. Like I have a team that's doing that so I can focus on the big picture stuff and I can just walk around and make sure that things are working and help people and really just try to develop my team the best they can. So anyone who would sign up with our program, they get a year subscription, they get all the videos. They also get support from me and my two other coaches, Dr. Henry Ernst and Dr. Steve Markowitz. We are there, we're doing live calls every month and they can come on, ask any questions. We're doing a live webinar every month on just a certain topic. And then people that I'm interviewing on my podcast, I'm allowing people that are joining my membership to ask questions during the recording of those podcasts. So there's so many opportunities for support that come with it. And it's a great community. You can get your questions answered. And the content is amazing. I mean, I put so much time and heart into making great content. It's all for, the team. It's not just for the doctor, it's for everybody. And everything that we do, everything we teach, it's got to check two boxes. One, it's got to be the best thing for the patients, and two, it's got to be the best thing for the people working at the practice. Because I know when I have team members watching this, they say, what's in it for me? So every video starts with that premise that it's what's in it for the team. And I think if we focus on those things, making it the best for the team, making it the best for the practice, or the best for the team and the best for the patients, the profit follows. We don't have to follow the profit and really be profit focused, but that is a beneficial side effect of systematizing your practice and just the ease and just the peace that comes from having a practice that way. I
A
think,
piece, I think when we first connected, a couple of things. Let's drill down more, pun intended, because you don't pick up a drill because you do fake dentistry, which is
yeah,
ortho. Everyone's
right.
jealous of that. Fake You don't make someone numb. You don't pick up a handpiece. Not dentistry. I don't know what it is, but it's not dentistry. But we talked about that inside and outside the operatory stress. We're about the same age. And early in your dental career, you think it's all about inside the operatory stress. They don't trust me. What happens when an implant crown doesn't fit? And my amazing dad and mentor and amazing friend sadly passed away 2016. He always said to me, "One day dentistry will be the easy part." And I was in my office last week, and it's true. So tell us the outside the operatory stress, whether it's team or dentist, what are they bringing to you? Is it insurance? Is it getting along? Tell us some of these outside the operatory stress points that can
Yeah.
demoralize the team.
Well, I think it's really a lot of it is leadership skills and a lot of it is how we handle our team. But I think so much of it comes from just a lack of availability of time to handle these things, to give these things the energy they really deserve. And I think if we focused on a lot of these outside of the operatory stress, so much of the inside the operatory stress would go away. It's like
Yeah.
so dependent on that. But yet we're spending 90% of our time seeing patients. And then every now and then we'll come in on an off day, or every now and then we'll get an hour here, we'll get caught up with some stuff. But there's very little proactive looking forward. Hey, let's set this up in a way so we don't have these issues. And I think that's what we're missing. Now, you mentioned like what kind of things are they bringing? I mean, this is dealing with, you got a stack of things you got to get to, and all of a sudden somebody's mad at somebody in the back is mad at somebody at the front desk about something that they said, and they don't like the way things are getting done, or something's not getting completed, or you're looking at your AR and you're like, why is our AR growing? Who's on top of this? Who's following this? So it's all these things that as the owner, we've got to have our finger on the pulse in, and there's just too many things. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
So unless we're systematizing and bringing people in to help us do this and being able to have a relationship with our team that we count on each other, we know that we're competent, we know that we're trained, and everybody knows what their responsibilities are, and we all have this social agreement that we're doing this together. It makes it really hard to keep track of that stuff. And I think with a lot of dental personalities, that can be really overwhelming and make running a practice not very fun.
I'm so with you. I mean, one of the things, we've experienced some disruption in our own practices, just like a football team who has people get traded or injured. You got to still go out in that field and perform. What's the difference between friction and fighting? Some of the things I tell my team is this is normal friction. We're running a circus where we're doing full contact arts and crafts on people that don't want to be here or pay for it. This is normal friction. And then over here, this is toxic fighting. And I want them to know the difference, because one of the things I think it's wild about dentistry, Paul, I was in my dad's dental practice doing every job except dentist until I became a dentist. Making
Mhm.
assisted people, answer the phone. I still didn't know what it felt like till I was a dentist. Until you are doing it, you cannot taste test this career. And that's why when you have someone outside of your box, I mean, what you and your coaches do for the leader dentist, are you often helping them treatment plan future growth? Are they worried about hiring an associate? Talk to me a little bit about some of the things that keep the leaders up at night. Not necessarily problems, but where their future's going.
Yeah, I think our main goal with the people that we're working with is we're creating a scheduling template. That's something we do with every single client, is something that works within their practice that will hit the production goals and also just make it predictable and fun so that they can stay on top of their schedule. They're not getting behind. And then we work with the leaders to try to create these foundational systems that set up the culture and set up a meeting cadence. And what do we do at these meetings? How do we communicate certain things to our team? And so often when we work with people, when a dentist owner starts getting clear on what the core values are, what the intentions are, and what everybody's doing, sometimes they have a little bit of turnover. And it feels crappy, but it's healthy turnover because the thing is they've been so lax on their standards for so long. When they start saying, hey, no, I want a practice to run like this. This is the practice I've always dreamed of. This is the way I want it. Sometimes there's people on the team that just don't come along, and
Love it.
they have to get through this period of, sometimes replacing some people. But once they get through it and you run your practice with this sort of intentionality, it just opens up all these amazing doors for you. And I just love working with my clients for the excitement that they show up with after we're working together for like maybe 3, 4, 5 months, because they say they walk into their practice and it feels different, and they wake up in the morning and they feel different going to work
Yeah.
because they know they're going into a place that is predictable and that they will enjoy, and that any problems that come up, they have solutions for. So it's about just setting up,
You know
a
what? That you
practice
just
that can
said
run like
something,
a
Paul.
business.
I want my team to take out in the future. I never really thought of it until you said it just now. The reason why inside the operatory stress is lower as you go through your careers because you know how to troubleshoot and you know how to find
Yeah.
solutions. Maybe it's taking a new implant crown impression. While I'm not happy to, let's just say, have a large stay in all the time to implant case not fit, I know how to troubleshoot it. And yes, I'm frustrated, but I don't have that feeling in my stomach like I have no idea what the solution will be. And then I think outside the operatory, no one's taught us these solutions, and you bring these solutions to the table. I mean, one of those
Yeah.
things that we talk about all the time. You have this team member that's been a loyal team member, but it's not a cultural fit. How do you navigate that? And I think, like what you said, when you put systems in place, I've had people navigate themselves right out of the office in a win-win scenario, right? They move
Yeah,
on
they
to a
often do.
I don't want to brag about this too often, Paul, but many of the people that I've worked with who've moved on, they move on right out of dentistry. And I'm not saying that to be braggadocious, but sometimes they move on because they realize that this isn't the career for them, and that's okay. Other people move on for other reasons, but I think solutions to outside the operatory stress should be your tagline,
Yeah,
because you tell a dentist your next crown doesn't fit, they go, oh, darn it. Because they, do you know what to do? They go, yeah, I know what to do, right? I know what to do.
yeah.
They got three things they can do: work on it for a while, take a new impression, bring the patient back. So I just want to kind of wrap up with, I think you should be so proud of yourself for what you've done. You've
Thank
grew
you.
a practice to a group practice that brings in $6 million a year. You make more now. You work less. You only do 15 hours of what I've called fake dentistry. And you've given our Nacho community resources. I call you the $6 million man, so people can text 6 to 215-543-6454. But what are some of the things they can get from you as free resources to kind of start on this journey before they find out about your coaching program?
Yeah, if you sign up for opt-in for any of the lists, we do have some freebies on our website. I do have a dental analogies book, just a book of dental analogies that I've gotten from the guests on my podcast. I've also got some verbiage on how to properly talk about procedures in a way with your patients that makes sense to them. That's short because, man, so many dentists just want to make those explanations so
Yeah.
long. And so I've got that giveaway as well. And then as you go through the email sequence, you will eventually get access to my block scheduling masterclass, which
Awesome.
shows how we teach scheduling. So that's something that comes out in email later on as you get on the email list. And so, but I think it just gives you a taste of, there's so much. I think it's so comprehensive what we offer. It's every element of the practice, and we have it by position, and we have it by curriculum and phases. I mean, there's just so many ways to work through the material. And the feedback I've gotten since we released this about a year ago from teams has just been amazing. I mean, the teams enjoy watching the videos, and I put so much intentionality into making them fun and entertaining. So I think there's no better way to train your team. And I'm biased. I think there's no better way to run your practice than what we teach.
And I love it. I appreciate you sharing with us as as a sponsor and member of our community. I mean, you get the secrets, you get the tips, you get the playbooks to stuff other people have done and figured out how to do it. You may as well just bring that into your organization. I always say, even when dentistry goes really, really well, it is still really, really intense. My word, Paul, maybe you could just say, we don't call it stress, we call it intensity, because intensity could be good, whether it's through dental nachos or job connect. Hey, there's a lot of intensity today. So to be able to do dentistry well in an intense environment, you need secrets, you need tips, you need tricks from people like you. Thank you so much for being an awesome sponsor.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, man. I always appreciate it.